of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV and a transfer show which hasn't been done for about a couple of weeks now. So, we'll talk about new names linked and names that have previously been linked and that are coming back into the focus of Newcastle United after gaining Champions League qualification. How are you, Roly?
I'm feeling positively Champions League.
Nice one. Well, you don't then, guys and girls. If you do like what you see, then please make sure you smash them likes. That's really important, helps the channel as well. So if you smash those likes, that'll be great. Thank you very much to all those in the chat at the moment. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then come and join this wonderful community here and smash that subscribe button. And also that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. And if you want to make a donation, there's a link in the chat. Just click the link and follow the instructions. I'm on 589 subscribers, so I'm 11 away now, and that's a starting lineup away from 600 subscribers. So there we go. So another 11 and I'm at 600.
Let's see if we can get that before the season ends. So you've got till Sunday to get those 11 people who haven't subscribed already. Just click that subscribe. Get us to 600 before the end of the season.
Right, let's get straight into the chat because there's some interesting comments coming in. Okay, Jan says, sell list, Darlow, Manquillo, Dubravka, Lascelles, Lewis, Ritchie, Clark, ASM, Hayden, Matty Longstaff, Jeff Hendrick, Ritchie, Fraser, and Saucy, all of us should make about 100 million. Well, I think...
We're not going to sell all that lot. We're not going to sell all of them.
I think, well, as I said on my preview this morning, there's clubs in 4 different countries looking at Manquillo, including England. So he'll be away because he's only got a year left. Jeff Hendrick will hopefully be gone in the summer. So will Lascelles, I think, if we get a replacement in. Clark's out of contract, so he leaves. You haven't got Gillespie on that list. He's out of contract. He'll leave. Richie's out of contract. Matty Longstaff's out of contract, so he'll leave. I know how wants rid of Ryan Fraser. We know that. So Fraser will definitely be a gunner in the summer. We know that 100%. ESM, I don't think so.
Eddie wants to keep Ritchie. Because there's so many players there. We're not going to replace all of those because financial fair play will stop us. But there are, say, like Manquillo will go, I think Lewis will go, Darlow, Hayden, Matty Longstaff's out of contract, Hendrick, Fraser. But I'm not sure about Lascelles or Dubravka. Again, Lascelles depends on what we do in the summer. If we bring in a right-sided centre-half, he might go. If we don't, he won't. Dubravka depends whether they want to look at the goalkeeping situation. I think Karius will go, Darlow will go. Gillespie might stay because of the club homegrown quota, because you've got to have 4 4 players in your squad for the Champions League who've gone through and spent at least 3 years in your youth system between the
Well,
club between 15 and 21. So Gillespie, that's why they might keep done it. Because if you
well,
look at the team,
that's why he's wanting to keep doing it. But there's nothing
yeah,
being said about Gillespie staying on, so that
that's
suggests
what
to me Gillespie's on his way.
it may be. It all depends on
Plus,
whether
he might want to go anyway.
yeah,
Roly, he might go and play first team football, because he hasn't got long left of his career. So he might say, "Do you know what? I'll go and play in the lower divisions if I have to go and play some football somewhere. Just even if it was a Cheltenham Town or somewhere like that, at least he's
yeah.
going somewhere to play football. So
I mean,
I can kind of see.
if you look at our club developed quota for the Champions League, we've got Sean Longstaff, we've got Paul Dummett,
Yeah,
Lewis Smiley might get in there, so we still need one more. So that could be Gillespie. He's possible. Trying
yeah.
to think who else is there that's come through. Yeah, I mean, you start to think, well, that's. I'm trying to think of someone that's come through the youth system. It's had 3 years at the club. It doesn't have to be continuous years.
Yeah.
And Gillespie would fit that, so there's a possibility he could stick just for that. But you've got to remember that you've got to have those quotas in the Champions League, but it doesn't mean he has to be in the 25-man squad for the Premier League.
No.
Totally
Well,
different.
I guess we'll find out in due course anyway. Right, let's continue. Troll says, "Hi, Tony and Roly. Good evening to you, Trolls." Mark Kerrigan says, Newcastle should Newcastle buy a goalkeeper as cover for Nick Pope? That's a very interesting one. I'll tell you what, I'm going to star that one. We're going to come back to that one, Mark. So we'll come back to that. And we've got another guest joining us as well, by the way. So here he comes. Yes, Kyle. Hi, Kyle. All right?
All right, lads.
All
right. All right. Sorry.
You're all right. Don't worry. He's just going to grab himself a drink.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there he is.
You're having a story, Kyle.
He's having a story.
Goes to plan. It never goes smoothly. How you doing? Are you all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Yeah.
We did it, Roly. We did it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it, that we can just chill, relax,
absolutely,
watch Man U and Liverpool go at it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you care what happens in the game on Sunday?
Do I care?
I mean, are you bothered of the result?
No, I could lose 10-0. I couldn't care. Couldn't care less.
I mean, I want to win the game, but
no,
I'm not bothered if we don't.
No, exactly. We can finish fourth. It doesn't bother me. Okay, people say, "Oh, you get more money being third." No one gives a shit, really. We made Champions League. That was the goal. I don't care if we get the off chance. I don't think we will.
It became the goal. It became the goal. It wasn't the goal.
I don't think we'll get the off Chelsea. I do not. I can't say, even without Pope.
Kyle, the thing is, Chelsea could go to Man U tonight and just take a point at Man U.
Nah,
which means if we beat Chelsea, no matter what Man United do on Sunday against Fulham, there's no way Man U would then overtake us in third place. And to be above Man United is important as well.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying,
but we've already overachieved as it is, getting where we are.
Exactly. You've got to be disappointed if we get fourth.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point.
What the hell? This has been an awful season. Fourth?
We finished fourth, yeah.
Jan says our bench for next season would be Wilson, Murphy, Willock, Byrne, Mickey, Sean Longstaff, Madison, Trips.
Trips won't be on the bench.
No, definitely not. Joel says, hope we sell Dubs the SAP for what he did. He did run and got some competition just to get rid. Yeah, I mean, it has been said by Eddie Howe that he's undecided which goalkeeper will be playing on Sunday. He said it could be Dubravka or it could be Karius. He's not decided which one, he says, because they've both trained really well. And he says he'll keep an eye on them training again this week. But he says that he has not made up his mind on who starts in goal on Sunday.
But
So he
that's
says,
what he'd always said when
Roly,
post.
I wouldn't be surprised if Carrier starts. I really
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't be, but
No.
I wouldn't read anything into it because I don't think they're going to keep
No.
Carriers. At the end
Well,
of the
no, because
season.
he's going to go off to Italy to be with his pregnant girlfriend, which is fair
Yeah.
enough. Andrew
Yeah.
says, good evening. Bia says, evening, Tony, Roly, and chat. Good evening to you, Bia. Mary says, evening, folks. Evening to you,
Evening,
Mary.
Mary.
Hope you're well. Troll says, ESM won't go anywhere, and How has even said so. Absolutely, Trolls.
Yeah.
I nearly got jumped. I don't know if you see me tweet. I nearly got jumped the other day in a local of mine. I say jumped, but after the game, I went to a different bar, and I went into that bar, just buzzing, what we did, and then, yes, we did it, and we finally did it, and just letting all them, endorphins or whatever you call them, and I was saying how good Maxie looked when he came on, and I says, I love Maxie. I really, Tony and Roly, I've always stuck by Maxie, and anyway, the whole bar, mate. Oh my God, the barman, everyone in there was against this man. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. Not one bloke was sticking up for me and saying, yeah, I agree. That guy's got potential. He's looking good. You just give him time now. Nah, they wanted rid of him. They wanted him gone. Anyway, I just thought it's just a football opinion, It's just my opinion. I love him. You don't. Okay, let it be, Oh, no, they were getting aggressive. He's even out of town about We're in Champions League now. And they were getting I was thinking a bit like, whoa, I need to settle down here and just agree, because it's getting a bit and I just thought to myself, it's just a football opinion, and I just thought, I'm going to leave this bar, and I'm just going to hope we don't sell him, and I hope he's going to prove me right, I really do. I think we've got a lot more players to get rid of before we think about selling him. And I think he could be a massive part of the team next season, and I hope he proves me right. I really do.
I think he will. Yeah. I think he will.
I mean, Mary says my sell list is definitely including Dubravka, and then Troll says, indeed, Mary, the traitor going to Man United. Well, to be fair, he went there because he thought he was going to get first team football, and it turned out to be a major boop on his part, didn't it? So yeah, a blooper. However, the lad says ESM's going nowhere. Manquillo should stay. Let Lewis go. Let Richie, Lascelles and Dollar go. Think Target will want to play, so could move as well. I mean, yeah. Again, it's going to be full of speculation. And
Manquillo will go. I mean,
Manquillo will go. He's only got a year left on his deal, so he will go.
Clubs interested in him as well, so I think he'll go.
Yeah.
Lewis, yeah.
How's Tony, Roly and all in chat? Good evening, Wayne. Sorry, I'm just going to try and get through some of these comments, Roly. Mary says, well, it makes logical sense if you don't keep a goalkeeper that you can't use when your number one is out of action. Well, that's absolutely true. Howie the lad says, Gillespie will stay as classed as a club cautious player. You need a ratio of them. The club's not said nothing. Mark Gillespie might say he wants to go and play some football. Mary says, I'm a Champions League. There's always going to be higher risks for injuries that needs to be looked at, in which I'm sure Eddie has. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on there, Mary. Definitely. Elliot Anderson says, Bia, he's homegrown. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Ian says, yeah, evening, Tony and Roly. Good evening to you, Ian. Evening, Tony and Roly. How are you keeping, lads? Says Lee. Very well, thank you. You were right, Tony. 1-1. Arsenal in the Brighton match. Man City, Brighton. Yes, I got that right. I did say last night, Pete and Roly both went for wins for Man City, and I said that game will be a draw. It'll be a 1-1 draw, and I got the result right. I wished I'd put a bloody bet on it now. I'm annoyed now. I should have put a bet on that. I really should have.
Brighton were unlucky not to win it. They were really good.
Evening, Mods and Host, says Mary. Good evening to you, Mary. Joel says, FFP dictates we need to get rid of at least 6 or 7 players, in my opinion. It all depends. Jan says, next door to me has always been the Chelsea flagger for the last 10 years on a big flag post in the front garden. Mind you, I've not seen it as from October 2022. Yeah, I wonder why. Jan.
They took that down.
Troll says hello, Kel. So does Ian.
Hiya.
And so does Wayne as well, because obviously you've
Thank
just
you.
joined in. So
Yeah, thank you.
Wayne says, I want players rested for the last game, but I want Carrius, Target, Gordon, ESM and Elliott to start. That's not bad. Well, again, it's going to be interesting what team he picks on
It doesn't matter, does it?
Sunday. Lee says, evening, Kel. We are in Champions League. Get into what a season. Absolutely.
Yes, Lee. Lee, we did it, brother. We did it, mate. We can relax now. No more stress. No more stress.
The thing I loved about it was at the first attempt possibility of securing Champions League, we did it. We didn't bottle it. We got the point we needed. We didn't have to. We had the chance and we took it. Which the pressure game, great.
But we did do it in a very satisfying way, mate. That was an awful game to watch, mate. That was awful. And that 91st minute save.
At the end of the day, we did it. That's all that counts.
I know, but we should have scored. Come on.
Leicester made it awkward. It was. I'll tell you what it is, Kyle. That was a typical Dean Smith team who plays negative football.
Yeah.
He's a Cabbage Heat the second. He's a Steve Bruce the second man. And he's just one of these. He can get teams out of a championship. He got sacked from Norwich, for God's sake. And I mean, I live in Suffolk, so I see there. My local news covers Norwich. And the thing is, right, when he was in charge as manager, I mean, and I worked with a couple of lads who are Norwich fans, and they were all saying, why can't we get rid of this man? He's a clown. The football is awful. He's took our club further back than it used to be.
Well, let me ask you this.
Daniel Farker was the better manager.
Let me ask you this question, right? Because in that ball, when I thought, bloody hell, everyone's against us here, I might get jumped in a minute. I thought, right, I says, what an awful game plan. If I'm a Leicester City fan, and my team's 19th in the league, and we need a win, and my manager's game plan was to defend until the last 5 minutes and then go for it. It nearly worked. Didn't get us wrong. It nearly worked. But I says to everyone that bar, I says that if that was my manager and I'm a Leicester City fan, I'm raging, I'm foaming. It didn't help. They were all against us again and went, what they talking about? That was a great game plan. It nearly worked. They got a good point. I'm like, oh my God. Like, everyone was against us. Like, I thought it was a disgusting game plan. Everyone else was like, that's a great point. It worked. It was a great game plan. It was a good point.
The thing that they couldn't have come out and played us because we'd have absolutely we tore them apart without scoring as it was. If they'd actually come out, I think their idea is to avoid a cricket score, and if they're still in it, have a go at the end.
Thing is, Roly, he got to the 85th minute and then he started telling his team to get forward and say, "Come on, what kind of manager does that? That's a manager who wants to smash and grab."
I didn't like that game plan.
Managers like that don't.
We did that with Rafa at times. We'd try and stay in the game, and in the last 20 minutes, we'd try and get out. I wouldn't say we set up the same, but our game plan in those days was to try and stay in the game, and then have a go in the last 20 minutes, not the last 5.
Right. Well, let me just put you right there, Roly. Right. Okay. Fair enough. Under Rafa, yes.
By the way, I'm not trying to compare Dean Smith to Rafa.
But hang on, under Rafa, sometimes, yes, the football wasn't great. And yes, we did sit back at times just to try and hit teams that, and start playing the last 20 minutes or whatever. I mean, we all remember that Man City game at St James's Park. For the first half an hour, even Gary Neville kept saying, this is so negative, this football. It's awful to watch.
Yeah.
Man City went ahead. Then we came back and beat them 2-1 in the second half with a penalty from Richie. But what I'm trying to get at is, Roly, the difference was, though, there was a reason we had to play like that, because the former owner we had did not want to spend money on this football club, and we had a championship squad that Rafa had to do wonders with. Yeah. And I felt so sorry for Rafa Benitez, of a quality manager who didn't have the funds or resources to improve that squad and to take that squad further. He wanted to take that squad further. But former owner of ours, who I won't name, would not do it. Now we're in a totally different position, Roly. And that is why I'm saying Leicester's in a totally different position. Their quality of players are probably better than what we had back then, Roly, in all honesty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry for the rant, Roly, but I was just trying to compare it that way.
I'm not disagreeing with a word you say. I just it's just saying that it's not just because you sit back doesn't necessarily mean everybody does it at times. But as you say, the quality of player Leicester have, you'd expect them to be. I mean, they should never be where they are. And I think in a relegation battle, when your confidence is shot, which Leicester's is, you don't want to go to somewhere like St James's Park and play expansive football because you get absolutely murdered.
But they had no choice.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 games left. They're in the relegation zone. They're 19th. They've got no choice. You've got to go for it. Or, okay, it worked. The game plan worked. They got a point, and now they're relying on another team.
Yeah, they're lying. But if they lose the game, they're as good as down. So I mean, they had to. Of the games they had, the 2 games they had, there's us and West Ham, and they're more likely to beat West Ham than they are us.
Yes, but it doesn't matter. You still got to go for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Everton beat Brighton 5-1 because they went for it. They did it. That's all my point is I think as a team in that position, you want to be fighting. You want to be fighting to
absolutely. Stay. But they've shown absolutely no fight for the last 2 months. So trying to get it in all of a sudden is asking a bit much. But I totally agree with your point, Tony. I wouldn't disagree with any of it. I'm just saying that they needed to get something out of the game. And because they've got a better goal difference than everyone around them, what they didn't want to do is come away with a sort of a 5 or 6-0 drubbing, where it actually makes it close on goal difference.
Couldn't score.
Yeah, I mean, their goal's leading a charmed life.
Anyway, let's get to some of these comments because we want to start getting into some players as well. Mark says, pick a young goalkeeper from the Championship. Maybe. Because I say I've got it.
No.
Troll says, we need to get rid of wages. That's what I meant. Yeah, I see what you mean, Trolls. The staying playing Sunday for me he's not bad at all. I want us to go and sign Alexander Golovin. His market value is around 25 million. Not a bad shout. We'll keep that one. We'll come back to that one. Kate Thorburn says, hi, Tony. Get in there. We got Champions League up the Magpies from Kate and Jonathan. Absolutely, Kate and Jonathan. We're Champions League and absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Troll says, rather keep Matty Longstaff than Dummett, who will only take up the space. Won't be good enough to play at all. I know what you're saying, Trolls, but the thing is, though, I think Matty Longstaff wants to go, in all honesty, as well. Evening, Kel says, Lee, we are Champions League. We already saw that comment. You've come on twice with that one. We need to get rid of wages. That's what I meant, says Trolls. That one's come out again as well. So, yeah.
Who said they wanted to keep Matty Longstaff and someone else? Who was it? Dummett. Someone wants to keep Matty Longstaff and Dummett. Did I read that?
Well, somebody says I'd rather keep Matty Longstaff over Dummett.
Oh, okay. They're 2 different positions, though. I don't understand.
Right, Kel, here's a question for you. Lee says, when are you wearing your lass's dress? Because last week, on the predictions, I said to you, Forest would beat Arsenal. Now, can you clarify? Now, the thing is, you even said to me, Forest won't beat Arsenal.
Yeah,
and who beat Arsenal? Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, no,
and
but I did
say they would do a forfeit.
Yeah, no, lad. Honestly, trust us, right? Trust me. When I make a bet, I go through with it, and my lass will back me up, right? I'm a bit loopy with this. Like, it's like a cult. I mean, like it's like I have. All right, I'm going to confess something to you, just to prove it. I'm not going to get my arse out on camera. But I have Sunderland Football Club tattooed on my arse cheek. And it's because I lost a bet with the Tyson Fury fight, right? Believe me, if I make a bet, I go through with it, okay? But I did say 3-2, and that's why I'm not in a dress. If I make a bet, I will go through with it. But I did say if it was 3-2.
Yeah, and I'll back you up on that one. When Tony was saying it in the last show, I did say that you did say if it was 3-2.
Correct. But good shout, Tony. I did not see that at
Nor
all
did I.
happening.
And
Yeah.
they were good value for the win as well. And I'm pleased they stayed up.
Yeah, me too.
Away the lad says the Foxes' mistake was letting Schmeichel go. That Ward was costly early in the season, and
I
that
agree.
phase is junk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a really important comment. That well played, mate. I think Ward was one of the worst keepers, and that really hurt
I thought-
Leicester. Yeah,
I think
thought that-
part of it was that they lost so much leadership when Schmeichel left, and no
Yeah.
one stepped up to fill the void. And then
Yeah.
Ward was
And
afraid.
it was too late as well with Everson. Like they played Ward for far too many games. I couldn't believe it. I think I said it on a show. I
thought
couldn't
he
believe
was
it.
quite poor. That Everson, in all honesty, we didn't test him enough.
No, he was, but Ward was
Especially
bad
Ward.
throughout the season. Ward was bad.
Yeah.
He cost them. He cost them.
Troll says we are looking at Diego Costa, keeper from Portugal.
It cost too much.
That's been on the radar. Bias says 3-2 Forest winning. We needed to say that to sort this out. Yeah, okay, Bias. Right. Let's go to some players. I'm going to quickly go back. I'll back you up, Kyle. You did see the score as well, says Wayne. There we go.
I did.
Right. Now, I'm just going to go back to Mark's comment, which I started earlier on. And that was, should Newcastle buy a goalkeeper for cover for Pope? Well, my answer is, I think yes. Because, and I say, not just buying a goalkeeper, but buying a younger goalkeeper. Because I think if you buy a younger goalkeeper, he's got time to develop. But not only that, he's got years to go. I mean, goalkeepers can go on for a long, long time. We know that. We've seen it with goalkeepers in the past. Peter Shilton still played when he was like 43-year-old. David Seaman played till he was about 41. So, keepers can go on for a long time because their careers aren't as intense as, like, say, an outfield player who picks up probably a lot more injuries than what a goalkeeper does. So in a way, I can say that, a younger goalkeeper would probably make sense. So the goalkeeper in mind that I've come out with, and this is a goalkeeper that I would bring to Newcastle United at this moment if we had the chance to, and I'm sure the club's probably looked at this as well. So here he is. Now, that goalkeeper is Lucas Chevalier. He's French goalkeeper. He plays for Lille. He played in the under-21s against England. Yes, he had to pick the ball out of there 4 times, but that's not down to him. That's down to the fact his team weren't that great either. He's a good goalkeeper. I mean, he's only going to get better in time. And I'll tell you what his stats are like at the what he's done this season for Lille. So if you just bear with me, any stats will come up. Should do. There we are. He's 21-year-old, and he's 6'4", so he's quite a tall keeper. I mean, he's a little bit shorter than Pope. His player value is 10.3 million euros. His strengths are his long shot saving. He's got no outstanding weaknesses, so he's a great shot stopper. Which, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, even if you got him for 25 million, I would still say that's a bargain. He's played 30 and he started 30 out of 30. And he's been involved this season in 10 clean sheets. So he's had 10 clean sheets this season. And he's picked up 1 yellow card all season. His passing is accurate of 73% per game, which isn't bad for a goalkeeper. 90% his own half, because basically you're passing to your own centre halves or defenders or midfielders, so that's possibly easy. He's created 1 big chance as well as a goalkeeper. So, I mean, at 21, I think he'd be an absolute I think it'd be an absolute massive coup to get him in. And yes, I know he's playing first team football, and I've had this decision before. This discussion before with Roly about it, and Roly says, "Well, yeah, but he's playing." But there's a lot of players out there who play first team football and go to clubs and still sit there on the bench as competition. I think this guy will give Pope some serious competition. And as I say, 21, he's got years to grow. Kyle, I'll come to you. Lucas Chevalier, would you take him?
I don't know much. I don't know anything about him, to be honest with you, Tony. I'll be honest. But going on to the subject of what you're saying is, do we need a backup keeper for Pope? First of all, I didn't know Pope was that tall. Um,
He's
I like
6'5".
I like Dubravka. I think he's a great goalkeeper, but I don't know how old Dubravka is.
34.
Obviously. Oh wow, is he? Okay.
Yeah,
Still prime,
So,
still prime for a keeper.
it is.
do you
But
think so? Do you think
Yeah.
so, dear?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no keeper surely at 34 years old wants to be on the bench and getting on every now and then. It's a difficult one.
Yeah.
I get what Tony's saying. You've got your starting keeper, and then you've got a backup, for when that backup's needed. And Pope's never going to be dropped. He is going to be a backup, and I don't think Dubravka's going to be happy to just be a backup at that age. I think a 21-year-old backup, he's happier, And yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. I like Dubravka, but I totally agree with what you're saying. You're better off having a 21-year-old backup goalkeeper than a 34-year-old backup goalkeeper. But I don't know anything about him, mate, and it's not something I've looked into. I've not looked at other goalkeepers never crossed my
Yeah.
mind, It's something I need to look into to give you an opinion on who I would like. But if you say he's good, okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, totally. I get your point. We need a younger goalkeeper to be a backup rather than keep a 34-year-old Dubravka. I get that.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, even if he came into the club and yes, we know he does play first team for Lille, but that doesn't mean to say that just gives more competition for Pope. And all it means is he comes into the club, and what if, say, Pope picks up an injury? You've got a quality
Yeah,
keeper and step straight in. And the thing is, it could be the fact is he comes in and stakes a claim for his own place, and then Pope's like, oh, I can't get back in now, so I'll have to make do with the bench. That's what you do. That's what's called competition, and you've got to have that level of competition.
Yeah, and we love that type of competition when it's on the outside of the field. So like the defense, the midfield, the attack, we love it. It's a great thing to have. But when Pope's done what he's done, like to get us to where we are, it's like he doesn't deserve to be dropped. He needs to be number one.
No, I'm not saying he would be dropped, but I'm just saying if anything happened.
But it's good to have. Yeah. It's
Plus,
a good thing to have, though.
Plus, if you're rotating as well, it means you've got to go. If you're going to rotate,
if he's injured, yeah.
Or if you've got a midweek Premier game, you could say, do you know what? I'll give Pope a rest and I'll put Chevalier in because I know he can do the job as well. So you can rotate like you can with strikers and things like that, like we've seen with Isak, like put on the bench in a midweek game and Wilson starts and comes on and starts and scores, and then Isak comes off the bench and scores, against West Ham. So we know that works. So you could do the same in that way also.
I'd like to hear Rory's opinion on this, but how old is Karius?
He's about
29.
29, is he? Because I'm not a fan of Karius. I've made that very clear. I like Dubravka. I think he's quality. I don't like what he did. He was hoping he'd be the next De Gea, and he was off skis, and he was leaving with, and he's going to win trophies and blah blah blah. That didn't work out for him very well. But I like him in terms of talent. I think he's a very good goalkeeper, and I don't rate Karius. I know a lot of people do. But Roly, what's your take on this whole goalkeeper situation?
I think the situation of goalkeeper will be determined on whether the club has decided they want to move on from Dubravka, or he gets a move away. So I think if he doesn't move, I don't think they're going for a number 2 keeper. I think they're going to be concentrating in the outfield, left back, centre back, midfield.
Yeah.
If Dubravka stays, you've got two quality keepers. I agree with you, Kyle. That is a
Yeah,
quality
he's
keeper.
good.
I mean, I'm not so. I know he went to Man United and had a little bit of a hissy fit to go there, but
Yeah.
I don't hold it against him because the guy's he's still in peak for a keeper. So he was wanting to play, and it was obvious that he wasn't going to be number one. So you can't blame the guy for necessarily
No.
wanting to get away.
No.
He's
Especially
come
when
back
it's Man
to-
United. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's come back to us, and when he's played, he's done okay. So
Yeah.
I don't think you hold it against him. I know there are other people that are disgusted he went to Man United, but he could have gone anywhere. Man United wanted him, decided to let him go. It didn't really hurt us. We still
Yeah.
made Champions League because he wasn't starting unless he came back in time. I mean, when you think about it, his time was impeccable because he came back just in time to cover in the league when Pope got suspended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valia, I don't know an awful lot about him, just from we discussed him in the past. If they want to move on from Dubravka, he'd be a really good choice. Again, yeah, I think the other thing that when I was saying that would he want to stay on the bench is that at that point when we were talking about him, we were hoping we might make Champions League, but we didn't know. We do now.
Yeah.
And he's more likely to come and sit on the bench for a Champions League club than a Europa League club.
Yeah.
He's playing Champions League at Lille. So it all depends on what they decide. And at the end of the day, all this transfer speculation depends on what the club decide are the priorities they want to address this window. And maybe something that they have an eye on him and they might look at him next summer.
But I think we've got two. I think we've got two really good keepers, Tony, for the Champions League. I do.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying we haven't. I'm not saying we haven't, Kel, but it all depends on where the club wants to go in the summer, and it depends on what's that. I mean, Dubravka may say, "Look, can I go in the summer, please, and go and play first team?" Because that's what he might want to do, play first team football. So he might say, "Look, I want to go elsewhere."
Yeah,
so then,
as I said, it all depends on what he wants to do and what the club want to do. If they both want, if he wants to stay and the club wants him to stay, I'm quite happy with that. If he wants to go, I'm happy with that too. It just means we've got to spend money to replace him. And obviously, we'll get something for him. We won't get an awful lot. It's all the case of. I think the club have priorities in other areas before they look at goalkeepers. Unless Dubravka goes, I don't think we look at goalkeeper this season.
Yeah. Right. So, because Jay Jones is saying, obviously, why would he leave first team football at Lille and Europe for second choice? But there's a difference. Difference is, one, right. Let's look at different players. Look at players that Man City's got. They have quality everywhere. They have two teams, and sometimes you've got big players who are sitting on the bench and can't get in the starting lineup, but they're rotated around in other games. So you've got to have that level of competition. Plus, he might look at us and think, "Wow, Sven Botman's gone there. He's done really well. They're finishing the Champions League. This is a project that's on the up. This, he's got to look at himself and think, do I want to test myself at the highest level? Do I, And the thing is, we're going to go from this goalkeeper debate, but I can. There's probably, he might look at it and think, yes, I want to go, and I don't mind playing second fiddle, or he might say, not really. No, I want to be first choice. So, it's one of them, Roly. We'll just have to wait and see, and we'll see what happens. It's just
and I sort of forgot is he might in his mind think, well, first of all, I'm going to a better league. Yeah. And he might back himself to beat Nick Pope out. He says, I'm good enough to be the number one. I want the battle to prove that I'm good enough to unseat Nick Pope as the number one goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And play at a big club that's going to win stuff in England
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to take the chance. So if I don't beat them out this season, I'll do it next.
Yeah, and that's what
Away the
Dubravka should be
lads
thinking.
says,
Yeah.
I think we need I think an experienced backup is much better than a younger one. Says, how are you, the lads?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
so, but you can't get experience if you don't play. So
No. Remember when Shea Given come to the club? He was only 21, and
but he had played a lot of football by then.
yeah, he had been on loan.
He'd been at loan with the Macans and done really
They were
well there.
washed. Yeah.
We are
Andrew
lucky to
says-
have Nick Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew says, let's be honest, Dubravka's a good standard backup keeper. The grass isn't always greener. Absolutely, Andrew. We have one of the best backup keepers in Dubravka. How many teams have a better second choice as J. Jones? Well, that's true enough.
Yeah,
I agree.
Dubravka's not a sweeper keeper. The second choice should play than the same style.
but you could say that Pope's not a great sweeper keeper as well. So,
although they've got that down on sofa scores, one of his strengths. Man City have Ortega's backup who was playing for a relegation team, Byfield in Germany. I think that's very different to a keeper at Lille.
I agree, and that's a good point. I was thinking that before. I was thinking, well, who's Man City's backup? It's Ortega and then Carson or something.
Yeah, because they had.
And
it's
hard to have two very good keepers.
Yeah. Their other keeper, Zach Steffen, but he went on loan to Middlesbrough, but he's back now. The American.
To keep two keepers happy of good quality is hard. It's one of the hardest things in the squad. You know, you can have a backup left back on the bench and rotate and they bother. But goalkeepers is a very difficult, touchy subject because having two really good goalkeepers.
To keep them happy, we're just going to have to make sure that we have a really good cup run so they get lots of cup games.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely difficult. Right, okay, let's get to the next player because time's dragging on here as well. Right, so the next player is this guy. That is Mohamed Kudus. He's a Ghana international. Plays for Ajax. He's 22 years of age, 5'9". He's rated at 33 million euros. He's passing, long balls, and ball control is his strength. He's versatile. He can play as a centre mid, attacking mid, and a striker. So he can do 3 different positions. He started 18 of 29 games this season, being Team of the Week twice. He's got 11 goals in the Dutch league and 3 assists. 9 of his 11 goals have come from his left foot, with the other 2 from his right foot. Obviously, no headed goals. His accurate passing is 87% per game. In his own half, it's 92%. In the opposition half, it's 84%. And crossing ability per game is 21% accurate. And he's had 1 yellow card all season. So quite a well-behaved guy as well. I saw this guy play in the World Cup. I thought he looked quite good for Ghana, especially against Portugal. He looked really good. He was due to go to Everton last season, I believe, and Ajax pulled the plug at the last minute and said no. I mean, from what I've read about him, he looks a good player. I haven't personally watched the Dutch league. Roly, your thoughts, Mohamed Kudus?
Yeah, I mean, he looked decent in the World Cup. Looked quite tricky. Don't know an awful lot about him, to be honest. I think you said that Ajax pulled the plug. Probably someone actually explained to him who the skip rats are, and he decided to back out himself. I'm sure that he's possibly one that we're looking at. Again, we've thrown our Europa League list of targets away because we don't need that anymore. We need Champions League. He will have some Champions League experience with Ajax. To be honest, I don't know. Will we get? What did you say his value is? Was that 30 million euro?
33 million euros. Yeah, it's about 30 million quid.
Yeah, about 30 million quid. I don't know. I mean,
Kyle, what's your thoughts?
the Euro division is a big difference from the Premier League as well.
Yeah, but he's going to be a massive improvement to what we have at the moment currently. That's what I'm excited to see the most is a good bench. And just because getting rid of, obviously, we know, I don't need to keep naming them. We all know who we're getting rid of. To see these different players coming in, it's exciting. Like, I didn't know a lot about Bruno Guimaraes, I'll be
I knew
honest with
nothing
you.
about them.
No.
You know, and look what he's turned out to be, you know. So it's exciting, and getting Champions League helps us with FFP. It allows us to spend more, you know, and it's just exciting. So for someone who I don't know, but we've heard that he's a good player and he's doing well and he can play in different positions. I'm all for it. Bring him in, get in, you know. I'm just can't wait, mate. I'm looking forward to the window more than anything, more than any other transfer window. And for these players that I'm not I'm not sure on, I don't know who they are. It's exciting for me and give them a chance, because they've got to be better than what we've got and what we're getting rid of. I mean, you know, like the Crafts, the Lewises, the Lascelles, and all that. So yeah, like I'm all for it. I'm all for it, mate.
Yeah, again, it depends on what. Except everything that we say today is all dependent on what the club vision is for how we move forward and the type of player
It's
that's
got
going to
to.
move us forward.
Yeah, but
Right?
our vision is obvious, Roly. It's to stay where we are right now.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
talking with
stay on top
in
of.
playing style
And to improve.
and the evolution of the tactics that we use at the moment.
Yeah.
We all know that our aim is to win everything under the sun from now till the end
Yeah.
of time.
Which we will.
It's how you get there. Now, because I don't know enough about the player, I've not only seen him in the World Cup, and I'm sure Ghana play very different to Ajax.
Yeah.
It's very hard
Yeah.
to see how he would fit in Eddie's system. Now, that's the stuff
Yeah.
that Eddie and Dan Ashworth and his team look at,
Well, no.
and they'll decide. We've got to trust
Yeah.
them because they haven't had a bust yet. So it's a difficult one to speculate. Yeah,
It's their job, isn't it? It's not ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's a
Howie
good
the lad
player.
says he'd rather have Coney than Kudus. That's fair enough. Wayne
Good
says,
sort of
I'd be
player.
buzzing if we get Kudus. Can he play?
Yeah,
Mark says, Ferguson at Brighton looks a good player. Yeah, but Brighton won't allow him to leave, and I think
Not
he needs
yet,
to have
no.
another season or two there. Howie the lad
Yeah.
says, Nico Williams, and that's not Nico Williams at Forest, by the way. That's Nico Williams who plays for Athletic Bilbao. Cornet, Golovin, Grimaldo, and Thuram on a free. Well, we won't get Grimaldo because he's going to Leverkusen on a free. So, but Thuram
So is
certainly
Xhaka.
one.
Chaka's going to Leverkusen as well, apparently. Apparently,
Granit Xhaka.
Arteta's doing it. Yeah, he's apparently Arteta's doing a big rebuild, and Chaka's going to Leverkusen as well.
Foxy says, Tony Roly, Kyle, hi to you. Foxy, hope you're well, mate. Paul says, Barnes, Madison, Agart, Diaby, would love them four. Yeah, that's not a bad four either.
But
I'm still
Can I
not
just-
sold on Barnes.
yeah, thanks, Roly.
I know you're not, but
I mean, he's a good
Right.
Premier League player, but I
right.
don't think
Watch
he's...
that.
I don't get it neither, mate.
Did you not see Leicester improve when he came on the other night?
No, he's a good player, Tony. He is, but we've
It's not-
got better
I
players
really
already.
rate this guy.
But we
Yeah.
don't need Bonds, in my opinion.
I think if we're buying a winger, I think, especially now we're in the Champions League, I think we'll just be going for a better quality winger.
Exactly.
But there's nothing against Harvey Barnes. He's a very good Premier League player. Nothing against
He
him.
is? Yeah.
But will we be looking for someone better?
We don't need wingers. We've got Maxi, Gordon, Isaac. You know, like we've got good players out wide. I don't think we need Bonds.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on him as a massive upgrade on what we're for the money
I
we'd have
agree.
to pay for him. I think we can get better elsewhere. That's just my opinion. We're going to have to stop agreeing, Kyle.
That's us agreeing. Hard, like that's a big agreement. That I agree, mate, 100%.
I mean, yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. On that one as well.
If we finished 8th, 7th. Okay, I'm all for Barnes. Get him in.
Yeah.
We are 3rd in the Premier League. We can do better than Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Moving on.
mean, yeah. Well, I know what you're saying about Bonds, but I still I highly rate that guy, and I think he's.
Oh, he's a good player, Tony. We're not
We're
saying he's not.
we're not saying we don't rate him as a player. But I think that we're just looking for. We're aiming our sights in this transfer market a little bit higher. That's all.
Like Neymar.
Okay.
No, I'm not that high.
Moving on.
We're not
Moving on.
No, I don't want Neymar.
We're moving on, guys.
The only time I want to see Neymar at St James's Park is if he's playing for the other side.
I agree.
Yeah, not in the black and white though. We
No.
don't want to see him in black and white, that's for sure. So
Unless
he
he's
can
playing
play
for
for the
Juventus.
blue with Chelsea, can't he? Yeah, well, he can play for the blue with Chelsea, so they'll buy him because they buy anybody.
Can I just?
Because that's stupid.
Can I just say something before you go on to the comments? It's something I want to get off my chest. I really want Gordon to start against Chelsea. I really do. I want him to get.
I do.
A start. Yeah. Do you agree? I would like to see Maxi and Gordon start against Chelsea. I just wanted to get that off my chest and see how he does and give him a good game, a good run out.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to stick on the net and then stick it up Chelsea. Because they wanted him in the summer, didn't they? Anyway, right.
I bet he didn't go.
Paul says Bonds is quality.
He is?
And better than what we have, yeah.
Well,
no, it's not better than what we have.
Evening says Mason. Paul says Maxi's never fit. Foxy says, in fairness to Bonds, he's got brilliant stats for a team in the verge of relegation with 12 Premier League goals.
Yeah,
absolutely, Foxy. Exactly. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but
Big
I still don't fancy him for a Champions League campaign.
Let him go to Brentford or Tottenham.
But then Foxy says, but then we should be targeting better than Harvey Barnes for sure.
Exactly.
Correct.
DRB first on my list, says Andrew.
Yeah.
How are you, the lad, says Madison and Barnes do have cracking stats for a bottom three club, absolutely. Nathan E. Gaming says Barnes is an improvement on at least two of our wingers. I'm sorry to disagree, but we should go for him. Eddie would make him better again, so win-win. Yeah, that's a good point.
But if you get someone better than him and Eddie improves them, you've still got a much better player.
The only reason he wouldn't have Neymar is that he would think he was bigger than the club and the players, absolutely.
And
nobody wants Neymar. Nobody.
Yeah, says Trippier and Target have been nightclub in the last 2 nights, so I expect major changes to the lineup. They're enjoying the Champions League, aren't they? Bonds,
they deserve it.
Bonds peas on the likes of Mickey, says, how are you, the lads?
Oh my God, disgusting crack.
I see Newcastle's after one of Swansea's young players, along with Villa, says Mason. Yes, I believe they are. I can't think of his name now. I know who you're on about, though.
Tony, I'm just going to shut off my camera mic for about 2 minutes and I'll be back.
Okay, I'll just drop you out the thing for now, Roly. Roly will be back in a moment. Andrew says he'd be better than John Bonds. Well, yeah. Greg Pearman, hi guys. Would love to say Slimani on loan laughing. Yeah, no, thank you. I wouldn't want him back, would we? No. Jesus, that was a bad one, wasn't it, Greg? And that just never worked. That was an awful loan deal. Why on earth that was even sanctioned? But welcome to the channel, mate. And if you're new, hit the subscribe and the like. That'd be great. Paul says you could buy. Okay, we've been linked with Blackburn left midfielder Wharton. Oh, okay, that's a new one. Given the choice of Anthony Gordon or Harvey Barnes, who would you take, says Foxy?
Good question.
That is a very good question. And it's a hard one for me to answer because, look, I look at Anthony Gordon, and I said this before he signed, look, he's a rough diamond that needs smoothed out. Now, Now, Anthony Gordon at Everton was playing for a crap manager in Lampard. Lampard is not a Premier League manager. Let's get this straight now. He's not a Premier League manager. He's crap, right? So Anthony Gordon was playing in a team low on confidence, a team that wasn't doing anything or going anywhere. He's now suddenly come to a team that is going places. Now, the only time we'll see the real Anthony Gordon and a better Anthony Gordon, and I say don't judge him what he's done since he's came to the club. Wait until he's had a full pre-season with Eddie Howe. When he's had a full pre-season with Eddie Howe, he will look a different player. He will be a better player, and I believe he will be. So let's look at the positive that them have a full pre-season with Eddie Howe. And I tell you now, Anthony Gordon could turn into be a top player. And do you know what it is? Not only could he turn into a top player, but that £40 million fee might look like an absolute snip. And he might even be worth a hell of a lot more than that. And remember, he's going to play for England in the under-21s European Championships in the summer as well. So he's in the squad for that as well. Kyle, your choice on that, Anthony Gordon or Harvey Barnes?
Well, yeah,
so
great question.
So I'll just quickly say, on that one. Yeah, so Foxy, given that, I want to see how he gets on through pre-season. So I'm going to see Anthony Gordon at the moment. Sorry, Kyle.
I disagree. I am not a fan of Anthony Gordon, but I agree with what Tony said. Give him time. That 40 million could turn out to be an absolute bargain, and with time, he could turn out to be an absolute superstar. Right? He can see the talent he's got. He's young and he needs time. Right? He needs to mature. The reason I'm saying Harvey Barnes is because if I could take a pick before any of them came to my club, and it was Harvey Barnes or Anthony Gordon, I'm picking Harvey Barnes. I think he's a great footballer and he's fantastic. All right. And the reason I'm not saying Harvey Barnes, even though I am saying Harvey Barnes, I think he's a better footballer and it's someone I would choose. I think the reason I'm saying Anthony Gordon is because we've already got him. So I don't want a Harvey Barnes now because we've already got Anthony Gordon. We've already paid 40 million. We've already got Isaac. We've already got Maxi and Murphy and so on. We've got wingers. So that's why I don't want Barnes. But if Gordon hasn't joined us yet, and it was my choice to pick one or the other, I would pick Barnes. But because we've got Anthony Gordon already, I'm fully behind him and give him time, and I think he'll improve, and I think he'll be a cracking player. So it's a weird one because I think Harvey Barnes is a better player. I'd pick him, but because we've got Gordon, obviously I'm fully behind Gordon. I think he'll become a better player in time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Paul says someone from overseas may feel with Barnes. We know what we're getting. Yeah, we'll get that. He's Premier League proven as well, right? Okay, Roly's back now, and BS comment is Roly's gone for a shit. No, he's got to do some cooking. That's what he's done because he's other half comes in from work at 8:30, and without being a Liverpool fan, he doesn't want to upset her. You see, he's upset her enough for being in the Champions League.
I keep telling her that we gave them 6 points and they still couldn't catch us.
Yeah, that's right, mate. But we've just been asked a good question, Roly. Was it Anthony Gordon or Harvey Barnes? Who would you take?
I hate doing this because I'm actually agreeing with you again, Kyle. If we hadn't have bought Anthony Gordon,
you would see Harvey Barnes, right?
I would take Harvey Barnes. Though I think that Gordon's actual ceiling could be higher, but he's a fair bit younger than Barnes, and I think his potential is higher, but he's not there yet. So for someone to affect the team immediately, if we'd bought, I would have rather had Barnes in that window than Gordon. But looking long term, which is what the club do, I think that Gordon will probably turn out to be a better buy than Barnes, because again, as Tony was saying, you've got to give him a full pre-season. And people said, "Oh, he's hardly played." Well, when he came to the club, they're playing so well that it's not surprising that he's not played that much.
Yeah.
You need to get him a full pre-season. See what Eddie can do. Look what he did to Almiron after giving him a full pre-season.
Yeah.
Wait,
He can do that
Mason
to
says
football.
Azim Abalai is the player from Swansea who they bought from Leicester in 2020. So that's who we've been looking at. Kate says, hi, Tony. How's it going from Kate and Jonathan? Champions League. Yep, absolutely. Kate and Jonathan, brilliant. Excellent. And yeah, we're fine. I'm fine. Wayne says, got to be going for me. Foxy, we haven't seen nothing of him yet. Good player, and he's still a kid, absolutely. I'm just going to run through these because I want to get into the next player while Foxy's in the chat because I want Foxy's take on this as well. I like Gordon. He'll get good when he gets to running games. Alan says, well, I hope so, Tony, as Gordon certainly ain't showed us why 40 million was paid, but yes, the jury is. It is, Alan, but like I say, let's see how he gets on pre-season. That's the time to judge. Let him have a full pre-season with Eddie, and he might turn out to be a different player. Mason says Abalai has been one of our high-profile players in the under-23s, and he's been on the bench on the odd occasion. He's now a Scottish national for the under-23s because of his performances. Chelsea look awful, but here, remember,
there should
G7.
They should be winning, Chelsea.
We dodged the bullet because Modric missed the sitter.
Did you see that, Roly?
Yeah.
They should be 1-0 up.
Yeah, I mean,
Still no assists from Almiron.
Still no assists from Almiron.
Who
What's he
cares? He
saying?
scored a bloody goal.
Yeah.
He
One
scored a
season.
bloody goal.
Right.
Oh my God. I can't do it.
Talking about Modric.
I thought we dodged the bullet, man.
Talking about Modric, I mean, yeah, he is really shocking, Modric, isn't he? He's really, really poor. And yes, it is true what he done. He did take the pay out of an old man in a gym. And I'm sorry, if I was the owner of Chelsea, if I was in charge of Chelsea, I would be pulling him in. And I'll tell you now, he wouldn't be playing on Sunday, that's for sure. How disgusting. How would you feel if that was Callum Wilson or Alexander Isak or Bruno doing that, going past the gym and taking the piss out of somebody in the gym?
I didn't see this. What happened? I didn't see it.
He was laughing about him because he is a little bit overweight, so he's getting, and because he bent over, he saw the cheeks of his backside, and he just took the absolute pay out of him. Disgusting. And yeah, he thinks it's funny. And I'm sorry, if that was one of our players, I'd be bloody disappointed.
Yes, you would be, absolutely. It's disgusting. Yeah. Absolutely, mate.
Foxy says, yeah, but it's an interesting one. Gordon a bit younger as well. I'd pick Barnes personally as he has a bit more to his game. But now we have Gordon. Give him time and Howe could get the best out of him. Absolutely, Foxy, absolutely. And Howie the lad says he has 4 assists in 4 years, lads. Awful.
Yeah, he scored 11 goals this season.
Yeah.
Mickey is a vital fucking player as to why we are where we are. Come on.
Yeah. I mean,
you take Mickey out of this season. We're not in the Champions League. I don't care what you say. We're not where we are.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, definitely.
It's a bit like saying that Nick Pope is shite because he's conceded 30 odd goals this season.
Right. Okay, so this next player, like I say, because I've got Foxy in the chat, I'm going to ask his thoughts on this and what he's maybe heard of seeing. So there's the player on screen. I bet you're both thinking, who on earth is that?
No. So Frank,
well, his name is Matthias França, who plays for Flamengo. And Flamengo have pulled him out of the, I think, is it the Under-20s World Cup or something? Because they don't want him playing in it because he's too important to the team. Now, apparently, we're back in and interested in this guy. We had 3 rejected bids for him back in January, but now we are back in for him. As is Crystal Palace as well. Crystal Palace are actually looking at this guy. And I'm not being funny. I think if it's between us and Palace, we win hands down over Crystal Palace. I'm sorry. Being Matthias França, he's 19 years of age. He's 6 foot. He's got a right foot. The C's value is 5.2 million euros, probably a little bit more than that, to be fair. There is some sort of sell-on clause. There is supposed to be a clause in his contract of 176 million. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. But he started one game out of two because the season's just started. But he's got one goal, and you know, I mean, if we go back to his stats from last season, sorry, that's in the cup game. It's right. Okay, let's have a look. Brasilio Serie A. Oh, there we are. So, yeah, he's played 3. He started 3 out of 6, and he's got one goal this season. And you know, you can't judge him on that. But he does play in. He plays as a forward, but he can play back in as an attacking midfielder, I believe, as well. Last year, he started 7 out of 17 games, scored 4 goals. You know, and one of them goals was from his head. And his accurate passing per game is 77%. And that's for a 19-year-old. That's not bad at all. Like I say, Foxy's in the chat. If Foxy's heard anything, I don't know if he has. But, you know, apparently we are back in for him. Yes or no, Roly, would you have him? Because I would. A youngster. And he doesn't take up a Premier League squad place either.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we've been in for him before means that, because the way we've done our recruitment since the new ownership has come in, if they've actually made bids for him, I'm quite happy for him to come.
Go on.
Yeah. Foxy says, did Mickey assist the Willock goal versus Chelsea? Wilson goal versus Brighton? The Wilson goal in the 6-1 v Spurs? The Joe Linton goal v Leicester in the quarters? The Longstaff goal versus Saints in the semis?
Thank you, Foxy. He's a vital important. Like, without Miggy this season, we're nowhere near where we are. He's huge.
Alan says, we're linked with him before, Tony. Yeah, we were in January, Alan. And, you know, but again, who's to say we don't go back for him? It's, you know, I mean, that Danilo who Forrest got from Brazil, that young Brazilian, he looks some player. And I highly rate him, I tell you. He's going places, that lad.
The thing you've got to remember is, if we've been in for him in the past, we've got a record of going back for players that we've not been able to get in one window and getting them in the next. Look at Botman. Couldn't get them in January last year. So we went back in the summer window and got him. And Akataki, we didn't get in both windows, but went in twice. So we're not worried about, just because we didn't get him this time doesn't mean that we won't get him next time. And if the club still believes in him.
So
there's one rumour I'm not happy about. And, you know, you never know what to believe, right, with us at the minute, because we're linked to everyone. But there's one that I'm really concerned about, and I would like to get your takes, lads, on if you would take him or not. And that is, are you ready? Bobby Firmino. Would you take Firmino?
No.
No? Me neither.
It's not because he's not a good player. I just don't think that he fits what we're looking for. His money,
his age.
His age.
Yeah, you think it's fair? He's a good striker.
He'll want too much money. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, no. I think he'll want too much. He'll want his wages will be. He'll want
even
too
on
much
a free. I just think he's not who we need, is he?
No.
All right, go on. Sorry, I just wanted your take
Alan
on that,
says,
lads.
Yeah. Did his chairman not have the asking price put us off in the last window? Therefore, he looks an incredible player. Yeah, they wanted 25 million or something for him, and also they wanted us to have a sell-on clause, and I think it was a sell-on clause that was putting us off.
Yeah.
But again, you know, we could be in negotiations. Who knows? But we'll find out. Right. Now I'm going to go back to one of these starred comments, and I thought it was a very good comment from David Knight, who goes on to say, Kim Min Jae, should be a number one transfer target. There he is on screen. Because he's unbelievable, has a release clause of around £45 million worth every penny. Now, this is the centre half for Napoli. And I'll bring up his stats. Min Jae Kim, as he's called. He's 26 years of age. He's South Korean, 6'3", right-footed centre half. Now, according to SofaScore, his valuation's 52 million euros. Now, his strengths are aerial duels, positioning, and ground duels. He's got no outstanding weaknesses. He started all 34 games that he's played this season. He's been in Team of the Week 8 and 4 times in Serie A. He's got 2 goals as a centre half and 2 assists as a centre half as well. His accurate passing is 91% per game. And crosses is 33%, considering he's a centre half and he can still cross. And he's been involved in a team that's kept 14 clean sheets this season. And he's had 4 yellow cards all season. I mean, he sounds a great, cracking player. I mean, the one guy who would probably tell you a lot more about Kim Min-jae would be John Sinclair, because he watches Italian football. But this guy is a beast.
How old
you
are
know,
you again, Tony?
26, Roly.
Roly, honestly, I can't speak highly enough of this player. But 45 million, David's absolutely right. He's worth every penny if we can get that release clause.
Is that clause
What?
pounds or euros?
It doesn't matter. Even if it's euros, even if it's pounds, and he's worth 60 million euros, 60 odd, it doesn't matter. He is one of the best centre backs in the world right now. I don't understand why Napoli would want to get rid of him, because they should be trying to renew his contract. They're in the Champions League. It's not like he hasn't got Champions League football. But yeah, I couldn't agree more with David. I think he's honestly, I've heard Man United are getting him. And if they get him, that's a great signing. I would love him at the Toon. But if Man U get him and Harry Kane, then the Man U are a big problem next season. But we should be doing everything we can to get him.
He's got 2 years left on his contract as well. So yeah,
we should be doing everything we can.
I know that he's got a big reputation.
He's very good, Roly.
Where's he playing at the moment?
Napoli
centre back.
Just won Serie A.
League.
Yeah. Because I read an article about him that said that Napoli are trying to get him to sign a new contract. And they don't want to lose him. But from all I've heard, that it could be if we can get him, if he's got this release clause, it'd be an excellent signing.
Yeah. Alan says need a centre half, strength and depth. Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. Paul says
imagine him and
Botman. No,
imagine him and Botman now. Be unreal, mate. Unreal. Him and Botman.
Yeah.
Another one that's being touted that's quite good at centre half. Is it Tobido or Todibo or Tobido? Is playing at AC Milan. Young lad.
All right. Yeah.
I've heard links for him, and he's meant to be really good as well. So I think there are a lot of good centre halves out there that are attainable for us.
Yeah. It's like somebody put in the chat earlier, this guy has got to be our first choice this summer. Let's hope so. There he is. Moussa Diaby. I mean, look. I mean, he's in a Castor shirt there as well for Bayer Leverkusen. God, Castor are everywhere. I mean, this guy, I can't speak highly enough of him. I'd take him in a heartbeat. He's worth 70 million quid. Buy him. Definitely take him.
But he's not first choice.
Would he not be? What, for you or for the club?
No, for me, in my opinion, he's not first choice. Yes, I would like him. I'd love him. But I don't think he's first choice.
Then, Kyle?
Yeah, who's your first choice? Don't say Neymar.
I know we don't play... What?
Don't say
Neymar. I'm not saying... Kim Jun-in, whatever you call him. He's my first choice. But whatever you call him, he's fantastic. But... no, I don't think we need wingers, boys. We're okay. For me, I want a cam. I want an attacking midfielder. I'm sick of hearing Bruno push him up to number 10. He's not a 10. Bruno is a CDM. We didn't score against Leicester for one reason. Yes, I'll take him. I need a cam. I want a cam. I think that is our priority. I know we don't play that formation, but we need an attacking midfielder. Maybe Madison.
Yeah.
I want an attacking midfielder before a winger. That's why didn't we score against Leicester? Come on, let's be honest. We don't have an attacking midfielder. Bruno is a CDM and he's a passer. He's not a goal scorer. We need a goal scorer in the attacking part of the midfield, and that for me is priority over a winger when we've got wingers.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from on that one, but I mean, Dominic Szoboszlai would. Well, he's just.
I've not even seen him play. I've just heard good things. I've just heard he's good.
I know YouTube videos are always very deceptive, but what I tend to look at is not so much the goals; it's the individual skill and the tackling. Because they always seem to put all the goals on, but it's not. Goals is obviously part of the game, but it's the all-round plays. I tend to sort of blank out the goals and look at the actual skill on the ball. And he's got bags of that.
Which I'm going to show you.
Takes a wicket set piece, free kicks and corners, but it's the all-round skill and dribbling ability that sort of attracted me more than particularly the goals that he scored.
Right, here we go, guys and girls in the chat. Right, okay. Let's hit the play button and let's zoom that picture up as well. There we go. So there's his strengths and weaknesses. Passing, crossing, dribbling. Yeah.
Put so much rubbish on these videos. I mean, what's that going to tell you? That he's got a nice smile.
Nice.
There you go.
But it's the control that you.
Look at that. He's like Isak dribbles the ball stuck to his feet.
Yeah,
I love him.
That's the sort of thing that I look at more than the actual
The celebrations, yeah.
celebration and the goal.
Oh, right. Okay, there's my priority. There's my answer. I love him.
I don't understand why these YouTube videos have to show everything 2 or 3 times. I saw it first.
Yeah. Look at the dribbling on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
It does remind you. The way he glides past people reminds you of Isak, doesn't it?
I haven't seen him shoot yet. I would like to see him shoot.
Oh, it's got a.
There you go.
There you go.
Nope, that's not great.
It's the corner of the ball.
We've got to trip you up for that. It's all right.
There you go. There's a goal.
That's not very good, to be honest with you. Keeper should have.
It is. It bounced in front of the keeper. I had no chance.
Nah, terrible goalkeeper. Keeper should have read that.
And there's some other ones that.
There you are. Look at that free kick.
Beauty. That's a beauty. That's a free kick.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. He's amazing. Let's hope we get him. Let's get him. He's amazing.
Look at that. There you are, okay. That's a good goal in.
See, that's what you want. That's what we need. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm sick. Honestly, I am. Of that Leicester game, honestly, it really frustrated us. I'm like,
do you know what we
even
missed?
Trippier. I was like, shoot.
Do you know what we missed? Jacob Murphy, because he's the only guy that we've got will take a pot from outside the box.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. We weren't shooting enough.
I think I'll be saying that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got
And that's why we don't need
right.
winners.
França is rumoured only 20 million euros, but it's strange as Flamengo are not desperate for money at the moment. I'd imagine more towards 30 million with percentage clauses added. That's interesting there, Foxy. Thank you very much indeed, my friend.
The Brazilian clubs always like to put in a sell-on clause.
Oh, yeah. Alan says, also would like to get a guard. I think he'd be perfect CDM for the team to free Bruno. Absolutely, yeah. Manuel Agard. Andrew says, that's a superb little player. Can play right across the front. First on my list, says Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew, I agree.
Alan says, yeah, you are correct about creative midfielder. He would enhance the team. Yeah. Paul says, we need wingers and more talent. I love Murphy, but he's not good enough.
Well, he's good enough to get where we are now. and for
Yes.
next season. But going forward, he's not the answer. And he's
No.
going to be 29 next year, so
Yeah.
he's done well for us, particularly this season. So,
Amazing.
but as I say, we can't replace everybody all in one window. So
No.
he'll be here next season.
Absolutely.
And these lads all deserve us to play in the Champions League next season.
Mhm.
Or at least
So-
the squad.
Roly, yes or no? Dominic Szoboszlai.
That's a yes every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Kale.
Yes, I'm not even. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he looks a quality player. And he was asked on Saturday by Sky Germany after the game, do you see your future at Leipzig next season? And he said, next question. So what does that tell you?
He's leaving.
Well, it's keeping his options open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 22-year-old Hungarian. Yes, please.
Did they make Champions League? I don't know if they did. I know Dortmund are probably going to win the title.
Leipzig have made it for next season.
Yeah.
They have they? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I would definitely have him in a heartbeat. Right, we're going to come to the end of the show now, guys and girls. But it's been a great discussion. We've had a lively discussion as well at times. But that's what's great about having these shows. You've got to have a lively debate sometimes because it's just good for people, and it's great to have lively debates. So before we do wrap up, Roly, where can people find the Voice of Reason?
Yeah, on Twitter at polls20 at polls67.
You nearly said a talk sport there, didn't you?
No, I was just looking at the game. I thought that Anthony was doing his normal things, lying around and moaning that he's going to be stretchered off.
According to the stats, Sky are saying Chelsea have had more possession than the Man United.
Yeah, but it's like Brighton's all been round their box. Oh God, yeah, they're gonna.
He has a question. He has a question for you before we head off. Would you just take Sancho? He's Champions League proven. He's English. Under Eddie Howe, he can improve. Would you take Sancho?
For the right price, yeah.
Maybe at the right price, maybe, but I'm not 100% sold on him. And Alan's put his thumbs up for Szoboszlai as well. Kel, where can people find you on your socials?
It's on the screen, just Twitter, at CapeHovey, NUFC. I'll follow you all back.
Lee says, spot on tonight, been fantastic, lads. We are the Mighty Toon Army. Absolutely, Lee. Absolutely, mate. We are indeed that. Right, guys and girls. So, if you have liked what you see, then please smash the like. It does help the channel with search results, so do smash those likes if you haven't done so already. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then please smash the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and come and join this amazing community here. And also, bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. You can find me down there on Twitter at TonyTooney31, same handle on Twitch and on Facebook. It's all Black and White TV. Click join the group, and I will let you straight in as soon as I see your request. I'll approve it. Wayne says, great show as always, lads. Thank you very much indeed, Wayne. Enjoy your evening. And Alan says, bye, guys, and bye to you as well, Alan. And thank you very much indeed to everybody in the chat. I will be back tomorrow morning with my daily podcast that I pre-recorded around 5:15 every morning. So you'll be able to catch me. You'll catch that one at about 7:45. And with any latest news that develops overnight, we shall give you. We know there's journalists out there who come out and are still saying things about Newcastle, and I see sometimes, we've seen it from some podcasters who go out there and put videos out. To be honest with you, that's what these want. They want you doing this. They want you putting videos out because you're promoting them, and they're getting the reaction. And so, don't rise to them. Just ignore them, because you know what? It's something we got to get used to. But if Man United get taken over by Qatar, I want to see if Man United get the same problems that we've had. So, again, we shall wait and see on that one. But it's been a great show. I'll speak to you guys backstage. But for everybody else, remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. It's bye-bye from me.
Bye from me.
Bye bye for me.
Away the lads.